News.
Welcome to CBS 2 News at 10 o'clock. I'm Sarah Jacobson. Students at Boise State University are debating on social media whether or not one of their professors should be fired for sexist comments. Now, the controversy, it stems from statements from tenured political science professor Scott Yenner made at a national conservatism conference earlier this month. It's now gaining worldwide attention on the social media app TikTok. Now, during that speech, Yenner stated, quote, "Our celebration of diversity is just the opposite of the strength that we need as a country," end quote. And that, quote, "every effort must be made not to recruit women into engineering, but rather to recruit and demand more of men who become engineers. Ditto for med school and law and every trade," end quote. Now, we reached out to Boise State University for comment. They responded in part, quote, "Boise State University understands that the open exchange of ideas, which is fundamental to education, can introduce uncomfortable and even offensive ideas. However, the university cannot infringe upon the First Amendment rights of any member of our community," end quote. Now, you can read their entire response on idahonews.com. But this is not the first time Yenner has sparked backlash from his students. Back in 2017, Yenner published an article stating that transgender activists are undermining parental rights. Now, we have reached out to Professor Yenner for comment, but have not heard back as of news time. Now, turning to local news, new at 10, the Napa Police Department is looking for 3 to 4 men who attempted to rob an ATM earlier this morning. Police say the attempted ATM theft, it happened between 2:30 a.m. and 4:15 a.m. in the 3000 block of 12th Avenue Road in Nampa. Police tell CBS 2 that the group of Caucasian men, they traveled together in a dark, possibly gray-colored passenger car, possibly a Charger. Now, if you have any information, call the Nampa Police Department at 208-468-5604. The Better Business Bureau in Boise is warning of online shopping and donation scams this holiday season. And CBS 2's Ariana Piper tells us how to spot a scam and then what to do about it.
A spokesperson with the Better Business Bureau tells me that scammers target people during the holidays in 2 different ways. This includes through shopping and charitable donations.
So if you see a deal online and it's a website that doesn't look familiar, or it's the name of a store that doesn't look familiar, take a step back. Don't be sucked into the great deal.
Other red flags to look out for: an unprofessional website design, strange domain name, grammatically incorrect product descriptions, and impossible low prices.
I'm going to make sure that the business that I'm buying from has a really good reputation, and I'm willing to spend a little extra money to protect myself in this case and not just go for the great deal that's often just too good to be true.
Dale Dixon works for the Better Business Bureau in Boise. He says scammers often try to mimic charitable donation websites as well.
If you find yourself being asked for something out of the blue and it's tugging on the heartstrings, take a step back, do your research.
He says scammers will find many ways to contact people asking for money.
They can put a website up, make a phone call, send an email, send a text message, put a post on social media. Any of the above that will pull at the heartstrings. Hey, we need money, or I'm a long lost family member, I need money for the holidays. And they're going to ask and make those requests in a variety of ways.
The Better Business Bureau has a scam tracker that tracks scams near Boise and allows you to report scams. Just head to idahonews.com for that link. In the newsroom, Ariana Piper, CBS 2 News.
Well, it's time to grab your wallets and purses and hit small businesses to help them survive during the pandemic on this Small Business Saturday.
Well, we have some family visiting in town, and we feel it's really important post-COVID to support the local shops. The advent of everyone shopping on Amazon and the local shops having a hard time, we're out here just, celebrating Boise and all the wonderful shops.
Typically this time of year, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's Small Business Saturday. But our local shop owners, they need some extra help, so it's Small Business Weekend. They've had to endure shutdowns and restrictions during the pandemic, so this weekend could be a make it or break it moment for some. Now, in the end, the idea, it's all about helping our neighbors and keeping our money local. Small Business Weekend continues through tomorrow.
Well, folks, we did have some sunshine today and temperatures were 10 degrees warmer than normal, but let's start taking a look. Let's take a look right now at this live shot right now. 38 degrees, winds are calm, feels like 38. And let's look at temperatures around the state. 35 out in Nampa, 38 in Ontario, 34 down in Mountain Home, and 37 in McCall. Now, looking at our low temperatures for tonight, 29 out in Caldwell, 31 in Mountain Home, 32 in McCall, and 28 out in Stanley. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about this weather advisory that was put in place yesterday. Due to an inversion, we will be having some air that's some unhealthy quality for people to be breathing in. So just be on the lookout for that if that's something that could affect you, but be sure to stick around for my full forecast.
Now to coronavirus. More European countries are confirming cases of Omicron variant of coronavirus. The White House says senior health officials and the COVID response team, they're monitoring the latest updates and are in regular touch with health officials around the world. CBS correspondent Michael George has more from New York.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says the new COVID-19 variant identified just a few days ago in South Africa may already be in the U.S.
I would not be surprised if it is. We have not detected it yet, but when you have a virus that is showing this degree of transmissibility and you're already having travel-related cases that they've noted in Israel and Belgium and in other places.
Health officials want to determine if the Omicron variant makes people more ill than the predominant Delta strain will remain as effective.
There are about 30 mutations in the spike protein, and about 10 mutations are on the edge of the spike protein, which allows the virus attached to the body. And that might make it stickier and make it look different enough so that antibodies from the vaccine or from natural immunity don't recognize it.
After 2 Omicron cases were detected in the UK, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson tightened rules on mask wearing in public and testing for international arrivals.
Our scientists are learning more hour by hour, and it does appear that Omicron spreads very rapidly and can be spread between people who are double vaccinated.
As more countries announce travel restrictions on southern Africa, airports like Amsterdam's Schiphol are seeing crowds scrambling to get to their destination. The U.S. will restrict visitors from South Africa and 7 other countries in the region starting Monday. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Meanwhile, Central District Health says all 4 counties in its jurisdiction are experiencing high coronavirus transmission rates. Now, those areas include Ada, Boise, Valley, and Elmore counties. To date, Ada County has the highest transmission rates with more than 73,000 COVID cases since the pandemic's beginning. Well, vaccine mandates could divide the workplace, with some employees willing to quit in protest or lie to keep working. Angela Brown takes a closer look at the recent eye-opening survey.
Nearly a third of unvaccinated workers say they would lie about whether they got the shot to keep their jobs. The survey is coming at the same time the White House is pushing a vaccine mandate for private companies. The mandate is now tied up in court. This week, the Biden administration asked a federal court to reinstate OSHA's vaccine mandate, calling for private companies with 100 or more employees to require vaccination or weekly testing starting in January.
It's about protecting yourself and those around you.
From Amtrak to McDonald's, many major companies already are mandating employees get vaccinated, with some workers willing to walk off instead of getting the shot. But there's another group against vaccine mandates, possibly sitting in the office cubicle next to you. A new study found that 28% of unvaccinated workers would consider lying about their vaccination status or fabricating documents to keep their job. Paul Siegert, PCS Advisors.
We've put people in a position, or we may put people in a position where they have to choose between maybe in their mind being honest about whether they're vaccinated or not, or keeping their job and their ability to support their family.
Right now, Americans appear to be split on a private sector mandate. A Quinnipiac survey found a slight majority of Americans, 52% oppose, 46% approve of a private sector mandate.
The main way for employers to find out that someone maybe isn't truthful will be their fellow employee blowing the whistle. And that's true for other infractions as well. And I think that's can be a dangerous thing for the culture of an organization.
If a vaccine mandate or weekly testing is required for private companies, more than 84 million workers would be impacted. In Washington, I'm Angela Brown.
Now to an update on a fatal crash that happened in Boise just last night. The deceased has been identified as missing Montana man Michael Edward Lopez. Now this is a photo of Lopez, who was reported missing on November 10th after leaving Missoula and traveling to Caldwell. Now Lopez's car was found about 4 miles south of Lohman down a steep embankment. Lopez wasn't wearing a seatbelt and died at the scene. The case remains under investigation. Festival of Trees, it's in full swing, and like last year, the event is virtual. Proceeds will benefit the Nampa and Caldwell Meals on Wheels program, delivering meals to homebound seniors in Canyon County.
Well, we've all had to be more homebound right now, right? Because of COVID. Well, that's just increased even more in the senior community. They've seen an increase of 30% in our area. Not only that, but they need more volunteers to help get those meals to seniors. So these programs need the help now more than ever.
There are plenty of beautiful trees to choose from, so get cozy by the fire, drink some hot chocolate, and get ready to bid on your favorite tree. You can also bid on some beautiful wreaths and even experiences. Once again, the online event, it runs through the 30th. To bid on trees, head to the new website, 2cfestivaloftrees.com. Well, still to come on CBS 2 News, at-home COVID testing could become a new normal. A look at what experts have to say coming up next.
News.
Health experts say that rapid at-home COVID testing, it's a vital part of putting coronavirus behind us. But such testing has yet to really catch on. So why exactly is that? National correspondent Christine Frizzau takes a closer look.
Crowded airports and family celebrations shedding new light on just how ready people are to return to some sense of normalcy. But health experts say there's one thing missing that could have brought us all more safety and far more peace of mind: the availability of rapid at-home COVID tests, with some people too busy or simply burned out from waiting in long lines to get tested on a regular basis.
If somebody's regularly testing at home and identifies a positive test and then takes risk reduction measures, they're not going out into the world, they're not engaging in the workplace or at school, onward transmission of COVID-19 could be halted.
You can often find them on websites of major drugstore chains like CBS and Walgreens for about $24. But that's a bit steep compared to many European countries like Germany and Great Britain that provide packs of multiple tests for people for free. The Kaiser Family Foundation's Lindsay Dawson says there are multiple reasons why we're so far behind, including supply chain issues impacting just about every industry, but also a far longer approval process with our regulatory agency, the Food and Drug Administration, and poor messaging from the federal government that's led to less demand for testing.
The federal messaging for testing have been largely focused on people who are displaying symptoms or who have encountered somebody who's COVID positive, and they should now get tested because they have an obvious risk factor.
This despite widespread evidence that asymptomatic spread is common and partially responsible for a virus still spreading at a rapid rate.
While progress has been slow, it is picking up. The White House last month allocated an additional $1 billion to purchase millions of new rapid at-home tests and promised by December there will be about 200 million available per month, with hopes they'll be easier to get and perhaps a little cheaper by the time Christmas rolls around. I'm Christine Frizzau reporting.
The Biden administration is now stepping up its fight to go green by pushing the oil and gas industries to pay up with higher royalties on fossil fuel companies who lease public land for drilling. Sinclair's chief political correspondent Scott Thuman has more.
A notable divide these days between the White House and the oil and gas industry over the cost to power America, from heating homes to hitting the road amid calls for relief.
I don't think it can hurt.
I wish they would come back down again because it's becoming a lot. It's really becoming a lot.
This Thanksgiving, gas prices the highest since 2012, an average of $3.39 a gallon.
My effort to combat climate change is not raising the price of gas or increasing its availability. What it's doing, it's increasing the availability of jobs.
Critics insist a green future is eroding the current level of U.S. energy independence, citing President Biden's new proposal to charge oil and gas companies more to drill on public land, or his killing of the Keystone Pipeline project.
The reason gas prices are going up is because the oil's in Louisiana and Texas, and the dipsticks are in Washington, D.C.
These are the wrong time for these policies. They're really misguided policies.
Many in the oil and gas industry argue that America will become more dependent, not less, on foreign supply unless Washington provides more access.
The solution is to utilize the resources that we have. The shale revolution, the advancements of hydraulic fracturing and horizontal drilling brought us an American energy revolution. We went from a net importer of energy to a net exporter of energy for the first time in 70 years. We can continue this progress with smart policies.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin from the coal-rich state of West Virginia writing, "To be clear, this is about American energy independence." Though the administration, now releasing 50 million barrels from the nation's strategic oil reserve saved for emergencies, contends the industry does have the power to boost production now if it wanted.
There are 23 million acres of public lands on and offshore that have been leased by the oil and gas companies that are not being drilled upon. There are 9,500 permits that have been issued for pumping that have not been acted upon. They're just sitting there stockpiled. So we want to see greater production.
In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
Well, let's start by looking at today's almanac. Today we had a high of 52 with a low of 33. Normal for this time of year, 44 with a low of 29. And on record, we were 70 back in 1949. Now, we are slightly warmer than what is considered normal for this time of year. We'll likely be staying that way for the next week. But right now in Boise, 38, winds are calm. Feels like 38. There's a look at that live shot. And temperatures right now around the state, 33 out in Idaho City, 35 out in Caldwell, 34 in Mountain Home, Glens Ferry at 37, and Cascade at 41. Now, taking a look at our futurecast, we do have some moisture that is coming to the northern part of the state. However, the southern part of the state should stay cloudy for over the weekend. We do have a weak trough that is coming in to the mountains, and that could generate some rain showers for the mountains over the next 2 days. But overall, we're looking at temperatures 10 degrees above normal and cloudy conditions for the remainder of the week. Now, here's what to expect over the next few days. Mostly cloudy, warm and dry weekend, temperatures above normal, and an inversion next week. Now, let's take a look at your extended forecast. 55 on Sunday with a low of 36. Partly cloudy conditions on Monday with a high of 53. Temperatures will be in the 50s up until Thursday. We'll be at 49 with a low of 35. Again, we'll be having partly cloudy conditions for the remainder of the week. Looking at your extended mountain forecast, partly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 45. Monday will be a high of 44 with lows in the 20s. Tuesday, you'll see a high of 41 with a low of 26, and partly cloudy conditions for the remainder of the week. Temperatures will stay in the 40s and lows will be in the 20s for the remainder of that week as well. Be sure to check out idahonews.com for more. Sarah, back to you.
Thank you, Marco. Still to come on CBS 2 News, sending kids off for school for the first time, it can be scary, not just for kids, but also for parents. Coming up, what's available for moms and dads before their kids head off to preschool.
By CapEd Credit Union.
Early learning, it creates the building blocks for a student's overall academic success. And now finding resources for young learners, it's easier than ever. Here's this week's Leaders in Learning. Preparing young learners for kindergarten can be daunting. especially for new parents. But the earlier you begin, the better you can prepare. And the Idaho Association for the Education of Young Children is there to help through their Ready for Kindergarten program.
Ready for Kindergarten divides their program into 5 age levels. There's newborns, 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, and 4-year-olds. And parents attend workshops 3 times a year at a school or a library. And they get tools to support all of the milestones their child's going to be going through and specific age level things that they can do with their child to have fun and play every day with their little ones.
Haley Mychalk is the project director, supporting local parents in their role as their child's first and most influential teacher. Each workshop provides free learning resources for families, ranging from language and literacy to math and reasoning, even social and emotional health.
About 40% of children enter kindergarten at grade level, and that's knowing about half of the alphabet letters, being able to count to 20 and do some rhyming activities. And we want to increase that number so that schools have an easier time of getting all children to the end of year goal in kindergarten.
This cumulative program is designed to begin at birth and continue through age 5, providing interactive resources and workshops for parents, sponsored by CapEd.
CapEd has been a partner of Idaho AYC for many years, and we honestly could not do what we're doing without their support. And you know, one of the best things that CapEd does is they bring together partners across the state who are really focused on improving the quality of early childhood education and supporting families, all with an eye towards literacy.
Workshops are offered in both English and Spanish, as well as in person or virtually. For a list of upcoming workshops or for more information on the program, head to idahonews.com. For Leaders in Learning, I'm Sarah Jacobson. Coming up on CBS 2 News, the holidays, they're here. How you can help families in need, coming up next.
Sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers, TDS Fiber, Homey, and 670 KBOI.
Thanks to you, the CBS 2 Great Idaho Food Drive, it's having an impact right here in our community. Now, let's see if we can see this. This is a photo of a recent drop-off at the Idaho Food Bank. These donations came from Les Schwab Tire locations and the One More Day, a group that works with veterans to prevent veteran suicide. Now, CBS 2, 670 KBOI, TDS Fiber, and Homey, we're teaming up this year to collect as much food as possible. Now, some of the most needed items are grains, fruit, dairy, proteins, pantry staples, and even personal care items. Cash donations are welcome too, because every dollar donated to the food bank can help provide up to 4 meals. There's a link to donate on our website, idahonews.com. And we'll end with a story about a special delivery at 30,000 feet. Now, a woman went into labor in the middle of a Delta flight this month, and she delivered her baby on the plane after it landed. Tracy Hutchins shares how mom and baby are doing.
Now, just 9 days old, little Analia Acevedo Castañeda came into this world on a wing and a prayer.
Yeah, actual due date was December 23rd, but it came out early.
Liliana Castañeda Avila has a story few others can tell. Her daughter's birthday, now documented in pictures from the back of a Delta airplane. Just minutes before, Liliana started having contractions on her flight from Guadalajara, Mexico to Atlanta. Luckily, there was a nurse on board.
He was like, yeah, the baby girl is coming. It's on its way. And he was like, don't try to push, because if you push more, the baby will come out. So I hold those contractions for like 3 hours and 30 minutes on the way here.
Back on the ground, Juanita Nash and other Atlanta firefighters were getting ready at the airplane's gate.
The airplane was coming in exceedingly fast, faster than normal. So we knew it was an emergency. We knew people were nervous.
I was nervous at the same time and worried for her and the baby.
We knew what we were doing. We wanted to make her feel as comfortable as possible. You know, just putting ourselves in her shoes, we knew that she was already very uncomfortable.
I'm like, okay. And they were like, are you ready to push? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to push. So I just pushed once, and then the baby girl came out crying.
Once she did deliver, one of the flight attendants got on the microphone, and she was able to say, hey, we have a baby girl. And everybody started clapping.
A special birthday for little Analia that her parents are thankful for.
And thank you to like the people that were in the airplane, the EMS, the fire department, everybody who helped us.
Well, thankful to know they're doing all right. Well, your local news and weather coverage, they continue overnight on idahonews.com. We'll see you tomorrow for CBS 2 News at 5:30.
Take the news with you on the radio.